This is a dresser that I restored for my own personal use. I bought it for $40 at Habitat for Humanity. This is what it looked like when I got it. The doors were missing and the joints were loose and wobbly, but overall not in bad shape. It's made from maple, mahogany, and poplar, with plywood side panels. It had been stained very dark at the factory, but the years wore away the stain and the finish. I took the case apart, cleaned and refitted all the mortise and tenon joints, and glued the case back together. Next I had to make two doors. I made the doors out of poplar. I used salvaged 5/16 birch plywood for the door panels. Mortise and tenon joints make for a very strong door. I hung and fit the doors with some beautiful solid brass hardware. Next I repaired all the drawers, sanded them, then applied an oil finish to the drawers. Next I prepped both the case and the doors for paint. I filled any voids that couldn't be steamed out, then sanded everything to 150 grit. Next I primed everything with oil-based stain-blocking primer. After the primer dried, I sanded everything again to 320 grit. Then I applied 2 coats of satin oil-based paint with a brush. I added penetrol to the paint. I rehung the doors and set it aside to let the paint harden while I worked on the top. The top was made of a thick layer of mahogany veneer glued to a plywood substrate. Then maple trim was glued on all the edges and the detail was cut into the maple. The mahogany was in good shape. There were a few gouges, but they steamed out nicely. I stripped all the old finish from the top and reglued the ornamental backsplash on. I knew I'd have to stain the top so the light-colored maple edges would match the darker mahogany top. I'm not a fan of staining wood, but in this case there was no other choice. I made a toner which I sprayed at very low pressure onto the top, feathering in the maple to match the mahogany. After the toner dried, I sprayed the top with 3 coats of clear pre-catalyzed lacquer, sanding with 600 grit paper between each coat. Then I attached the top to the case. I'm very happy with how this dresser turned out. It looks great in the bedroom and has tons of room for clothing storage. Thanks for watching.